I love Teoscar Hernandez. In the back of my mind, I wanted him to lose in the first round because he's been hot. He comes through in the clutch. The last thing I wanted him to do kind of is to win the home run derby. I didn't think it was likely at all, but you have that in the back of your head. It's like, hey, we need this guy. October's right around the corner. Will this affect his day-to-day? Will this affect his shoulders? Will this affect his swing?
Do you think that's why, like, your teammates, I mean, not your teammates, that'd be cool, but your guys on the team that you root for, you think that's why they left Teoscar? The only person there, dude, I'm going to show it. Everyone knows it. It was this guy. This was the only guy to support our buddy, Teoscar.
You were screaming. Eduardo was screaming. Everyone else, including Witt Jr., held their breath.
That was awesome for a guy that's wanted to do this for years. To be able to win it, man, good for Teoscar Hernandez.
That was absolutely it. It was just Glasnow from the teammates, from what I saw and understood. And I thought that was a bit messed up that they left the boy hanging. Shohei was there earlier and a couple other players, but they ended up leaving. So I thought that was kind of messed up. But at least Glasnow was there.
You know, they probably didn't think he was going to win, just like nobody thought he was going to win it. Yeah. He's not a mega home run guy.
That's true, but like Bryce Harper was there for Alec Baum all the way to the end, I think. So then, like, live streaming and doing more things with players, I think, like, you know how they have the headsets when they're playing. I think if they do more of that and live streaming for their players while they're out there, I think that would be better. And then maybe some way of like talking amongst the fans. That would be awesome.
I think that'd be awesome. Or you pick a player and you pay like $2. Like, hey, I want to listen to everything that Bryce Harper is saying, or I want to listen to everything that like a Freddie Freeman or a Mookie Betts is saying. I think that'd be pretty cool too.
Yeah, and then I think there was a moment where it was on the National League shortstop. I don't know if it was Turner or something, but this guy turned a double play. They were talking to him in his ear, and he turned a double play. It was so sick. And they said that was like one of the coolest like plays ever done while he was hooked up to the mic.
If I want to be a part of that. Up the middle. Okay, nice diving stop by Trea. Are you kidding me? I love that. Hey, let's go. How's that belt feel? That belt's brutal. That's why I don't wear these things. I need my Little League belt back. Well, it officially is the greatest play by a player who has wore the mic. Turner gets that, and tosses it to second.
3 balls, 2 strikes, pressure is on. This is where we discuss real estate, property improvement, and business. Together, we'll strategize on how to win. Welcome to the Full Count.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Full Count Podcast. Today is Sunday, July 21st. It's going to be just the two of us today. So your boy Sway, your boy Andrew. We're going to be talking about the Home Run Derby and the All-Star Game from this past week and what we thought about it, what we think could be better about it, and I think what the fans would like a little more. So we'll start with the Home Run Derby this past week. It's such a great event for baseball. It's what everybody tunes into. The thing is, it could be a lot more marketable. If you take a look at who was in the All-Star in the Home Run Derby this week, there was a lot of names that most regular casual fans have never heard of. Even the person that won it all, Teoscar Hernandez, unless you're a Dodger fan, unless you're a Mariners fan, you're probably not going to know him. He's definitely not a household name. Same with the runner-up, Bobby Witt Jr., absolute superstar in the making, but he plays for the Royals, so he's not that face that's recognizable. You could see him in a restaurant and you wouldn't know him. But go ahead.
Fair point. No, I think that's a fair point. If there's a way to like maybe a few months out, but baseball players are so busy, but to get them like on podcasts and hang out with like go to restaurants with celebrities and have people talking about it, and then bring some type of like competitiveness to it where they kind of bash each other, like slightly a little bit UFC, a little bit of basketball vibe, and mesh it with baseball. I think that would get people more interested, even if you're not a household name. But don't get me wrong, I think Teoscar is like, and Bobby Witt Jr. are coming up, and I think they will be. But I understand your point. They're not like a Judge or a Soto, so it makes sense. But I think if there's a little bit more strategy behind it, I think the Home Run Derby will blow up even more.
Yeah, just think of the potential of the home run derby, and I know it's not a priority for these mega superstars. They don't want to do it because they say it messes up your swing. It exposes injuries. You're probably never the same after that home run derby if you're taking 100 massive hacks.
Dude, for sure.
But we all want to see like Ohtani in there. We want to see Trout. We want to see Soto and Judge. Who else? I got some names here. Tatis Jr., Machado, Guerrero, Bryce Harper. Like Bryce Harper.
Yeah, Bryce Harper would have been great to watch, dude.
And that was one of the best home run derbies I've ever seen is when he won it. I think it was in Nationals Park. It was cool. Like his dad pitched to him in front of his hometown fans. Such a cool moment.
That is sick.
But it's just not as fun to watch. I'm still going to watch it. It's just not as exciting. It's not as marketable. So I always say, like, hey, the home run derby, the All-Star game are baseball's biggest marketing events. They're just not how do you say this? They're not living up to their potential.
Well, I think the negative is it will affect the player in a negative way. And as fans, do we want it to affect, like for me, Judge's swing? No, I don't. Or Soto's swing? No, because we need them to get to the World Series. But at the same time, if it becomes more of a mandatory thing where they kind of have to participate, it might be good because, like you said, it's such an important part of the game. I forgot what word you used, but it's to market baseball and get fans to come. And I think if they can market it a little bit better, more fans would adopt the sport maybe by just making it more modern with the times, with the internet, live stream, podcast. I think that's the way to go. And it's part of now the business model to get more money into the game too. I think it should be a little bit more important than how it is today. What are your thoughts?
You brought up a good point that you don't want your player participating, and that's exactly what I thought. Like I love Teoscar Hernandez. In the back of my mind, I wanted him to lose in the first round because he's been hot. He comes through in the clutch. The last thing I wanted him to do kind of is to win the home run derby. I didn't think it was likely at all. But you have that in the back of your head. It's like, hey, we need this guy. October's right around the corner. Will this affect his day-to-day? Will this affect his shoulders? Will this affect the swing? How is he going to perform after the home run derby?
I feel like Teoscar is always like getting you guys out of jams with his home runs. And if this affects him moving forward, I don't know. I'm a little bit concerned for you guys.
Yeah, even his perspective, he's in a contract year. I think it was pretty risky to do that. If I was a player, I probably wouldn't want to do that either.
What do they win? Do you know? I don't really. Besides the trophy, they win money or no?
They win $1 million. But I think he's getting paid like $18 million. So hey, $1 million. I know one's going to say no to $1 million, but
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's a tricky thing, especially for a player. Like, you're in a contract year, you're doing really well.
Yeah.
Do you really want to risk that?
There's
so many weird things that go into that don't apply to other All-Star games, like the NBA All-Star game or the Pro Bowl.
How so?
A lot of injury stuff. So NBA All-Star game, it's a gimme. Nobody's playing hard. The score is always like 200 to 200. Okay. Yeah, but with the home run derby, you're sitting there, you're hacking and you're hacking and you're hacking.
Do you think that's why, like, your teammates? I mean, not your teammates. That'd be cool. But your guys on the team that you root for, you think that's why they left Teoscar? They're like, oh, screw home run derby, because the only person there, dude, I'm gonna show it. Everyone knows it. It was this guy. This was the only guy to support our buddy Teoscar. That was absolutely it. It was just Glasnow from the teammates, from what I saw and understood. And I thought that was a bit messed up that they left the boy hanging. Shohei was there earlier and a couple other players, but they ended up leaving. So I thought that was kind of messed up. But at least Glasnow was there.
You know, they probably didn't think he was going to win, just like nobody thought he was going to win it. Yeah. He's not a mega home run guy.
That's true, but like Bryce Harper was there for Alec Baum all the way to the end, I think. And then a bunch of other players from the Phillies were also there, like supporting him. So I don't know. I think they should have waited.
I think so too, but who knows what was really happening in the background? Maybe they had dinner waiting. I'm just kidding. Yeah, it is kind of weird that Tyler Glasnow was the only one there to congratulate him, but
yeah. Shows he's a good dude, so that's good. That's why everybody loves the guy on the team. Now, swinging it over to the All-Star game, what's up with this team, bro? I mean, this league is always losing, and it's kind of crappy. But, my teams are in the American League, so I can't complain. But, I think this is the 10th time that the American League won, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, dude, I don't understand. I think that the National League is 1-9 in the last 10 games or something like that. They just don't show up. And when they show up, it's very minimal. Like this past All-Star game, it was just a three-run home run by Ohtani.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah.
And I remember being at the All-Star game in 2022 at Dodger Stadium, and I think we scored one run. It was one home run, and that was it. They really don't show up. I don't know what it is. Can't really play with a whole team of studs.
Yeah. I didn't know you went to the All-Star game in 2022.
I had to. It was like a bucket list thing. It was in our backyard.
Okay.
I would have dropped whatever it took to go there.
Were the tickets way more expensive? Because I don't know what the difference would be.
They were $700 a ticket or something like that.
Okay.
Well, what had happened? So it kind of worked out. So I had season tickets up until 2019, and then of course COVID happens, and something happened where I had a bunch of tickets for something, and they all got canceled for the next season. So I got a giant credit through, was it GameStop or not GameStop? Game Time, thinking of other stuff. So I had a giant credit of $500. So I decided hey, I'm gonna put that towards the All-Star game. So it wasn't that hard of a hit, but
that makes sense.
Cool experience.
Was it
kind of a boring game?
Okay, so was it boring in 2022 or also 2024?
I think all of them. And I wanted to talk about the last 10 years. I even looked up some stats, and maybe
before you go into the stats real quick, I just wanted to ask you, 2022 game. Okay, the game itself was boring, but was the atmosphere with the fans there exciting because you have other fans of different players? Did it feel cool to be there, or was it kind of all the same?
Yeah, it was a blast.
Okay. So then, so maybe the game was boring, but being there was cool. So
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So then, live streaming and doing more things with players, I think, how they have the headsets when they're playing. I think if they do more of that and live streaming for their players while they're out there, I think that would be better. And then maybe some way of talking amongst the fans. That would be awesome.
I think that'd be awesome. Or you pick a player and you pay $2. Hey, I want to listen to everything that Bryce Harper is saying, or I want to listen to everything that a Freddie Freeman or a Mookie Betts is saying. I think that'd be pretty cool too.
Yeah, and then I think there was a moment where it was on the National League shortstop. I don't know if it was Turner or something, but this guy turned a double play. They were talking to him in his ear, and he turned a double play. It was so sick. And they said that was one of the coolest plays ever done while he was hooked up to the mic.
If I want to be a part of that. Up the middle. Okay, nice diving stuff by Trea. Are you kidding me? I love that. Hey, let's go. How's that belt feel? That belt's brutal. That's why I don't wear these things. I need my Little League belt back. Well, it officially is the greatest play by a player who has wore the mic. Turner gets that, tosses it to second.
And I think if they do more of that, but maybe instead of talking to all the time to the sportscaster or whatever, if for example, if that guy's name is Turner, I might be wrong. If he's talking to his players, I think that would be better. And then even fans, while he's out there, you're saying, you pay $2 or whatever, and you get to hear or even talk to him, I think that would be awesome. And then really doing a good job organizing it on the internet per team, per the Dodgers Twitter accounts and stuff. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, you can do that. Incorporate some AI or something. So cuss words, bad languages, maybe filtered out for the kids or something like that.
Right.
Strategy wise would be taken out, but
yeah,
I would listen to that. I think that'd be really, really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think the experience itself of the All-Star game might be more of an in-demand thing than maybe watching the game, if that makes sense.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, the experience rather than focusing just on the typical sport of baseball is what I meant. But go ahead. What were the names you were about to talk about?
What was I about to say?
You were looking over a list.
Stats wise, so I wanted to look it up because it's different being at the All-Star game compared to just watching it in your living room. you don't get like that experience. So you're just watching like a regular baseball game.
Right.
And these past All-Star games have been kind of slow. And I looked it up. I wanted to see like the last 10 years. I wanted to get a good sample size. And the last 10 years, these games only average 2 home runs. Everyone's tuning in to the All-Star game because they think people are just going to mash that ball over the wall.
Right.
But the opposite has happened. Everyone's striking out. You have like the top of the line pitchers going against everybody, just throwing gas, getting swings and misses. It's the average for the last 10 years strikeouts per All-Star game is 19.75. So that's 10 from each side. That's over 3 innings worth of just strikeouts. That's not what people want to see.
I see. Yeah. What if they have rookie pitchers go up against the best of the best batters for the All-Star game? Wouldn't that be more exciting in a way?
Or like a pitch machine or something. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, that too. And then maybe make another game specifically for the ace pitchers, the best of the best pitchers. You create a game specifically for them, for their pitching, so that they don't get left out. They're still part of the All-Stars, but it's more like, I don't know, maybe accuracy or specific throws, pitches, and then incorporate like, fans saying, throw this now. I think that would be cool.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. And the thing about baseball, it's such a traditional sport that you can't really tweak it like you do for the other All-Star games. Right.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, not tweak the game itself, but maybe incorporate like the traditional game, but incorporate another game as part of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think they should hire us, dude, so we can give ideas and go to boardroom meetings, and that'd be sick. That way we can be involved in baseball in that way.
Yeah. All right. Hey, open applications right there, guys. If you're listening, here's our email addresses. I'm just kidding. Give us something to do. Give us something to do with the All-Star game.
Yeah, exactly. We'll put our social accounts on here so you can follow us and give us a shout out, or maybe, send us a freaking position to work on, but that'd be great. But yeah, I think there's some room for improvement for sure.
Would you ever go to an All-Star game? I know next year's in Atlanta. Would you ever do that?
Hell yeah, dude. I mean, now that I'm getting more and more involved in baseball in terms of watching it and taking a look at it, then, because as you know, over the last years I stopped, but hell yeah, I'd be down. If you want to go to Atlanta, that'd be great for next year. We have friends that just moved out there. Oh, Chris is one of them. Chris, our co-host, he just moved to Georgia, Atlanta, and we could go and hang out with him, man. That'd be great. I think that would be amazing.
And get a tour of that new mansion he got.
Yeah, I know. Do you know, by chance, going back to baseball with Atlanta, do you know if Chris Sale, do you think he'll still be around next year? I don't really know his contract. Do you think the pitcher will be there when we go to the All-Star game, hopefully?
I don't know his contract. I know he's kind of old. I think he's like 35 years old. So he's in the twilight of his career. But he's had a resurgent year.
No, for sure. What's up with the Dodgers, dude, and the Yankees? I've been out of it. I haven't been watching as of late. So if you can fill me in, I'm sure the audience would love to hear, because the Dodgers and the Yankees are some of the best teams right now, or they were until recently. Can you fill us in a little bit?
So the Dodgers and Yankees, I think, have a very similar story. They have all these crazy high expectations like they have every year. They spent $1 billion in the offseason getting people on their team. The Yankees got Soto. They have Judge. They're absolutely stacked. And same with the Dodgers. Everybody knows that story. They went and got Ohtani, the $700 million contract. I think they expected both of these teams to come into the All-Star break with like 20 losses. But that's not realistic. That's baseball. There's going to be those ebbs and flows. It's a grind. But in the end, the Dodgers and the Yankees aren't what each team or what everybody was expecting them to be. They both kind of limped in the All-Star game or into the All-Star break. I think, if I remember right, the Yankees had a skid where they lost, 14 of 16 or 14 of 17 or something like that.
Right.
Dodgers are playing the Tigers going into the All-Star break and just got punked by the Tigers. So
why though? Like, do you think it's are they like moving players around and giving certain players a break, or is it just baseball being baseball?
I could speak more. I could talk more clearly on the Dodgers, because I think the Dodgers are more injuries. They have the majority of their pitching staff is on the IL. Mookie Betts is on the IL.
Oh yeah.
And at the same time, like the bottom of the lineup just isn't producing. We have like the Gavin Luxes of the world, the Chris Taylors, the Kiké Hernández, fan favorites. They're just not pulling their weight. So the Dodgers are kind of relying on like that top 5 to do everything. And then it's kind of not fair because then if they don't produce, then the bottom of the lineup doesn't produce. The pitching staff's not great. And then, of course, that wears and tears on the bullpen. That's where the Dodgers are right now. If they can get healthy arms and they can get like Max Muncy back and Mookie Betts back here in the next month.
Yeah, tell me about that. I did see, by the way, he pulled his weight yesterday. Kiké Hernández. I mean, they ended up winning yesterday's game. What was it, July 20th? He did really well, right? He hit a home run or a triple. I don't remember.
Sox thinking on Kiké Hernández of all people. Hernandez rips one left center field. This game is tied.
A game-tying home run, Kiké Hernández. It is 4-4. Oh my goodness! What a belt into the left field pavilion.
That was probably one of the best games of the year. Just baseball.
I didn't get to watch it.
I'll give everybody a heads up. So, 9th inning, the Dodgers are down by 1. Kenley Jansen, the old Dodgers closers, coming in to close out the Dodgers in Dodger Stadium. So I'm sure there was a lot of nerves involved. It was pretty cool to watch. So Kenley Jansen against Kiké, they're buddies. Outside of this, they played for the Red Sox together. I'm sure there's a lot of personal history right there. So I think we're down to our last out. Kiké Hernández hits a home run to tie it, goes into extras. Then the Red Sox go up to we match. It was a back and forth game. It was great. It was one of the best games of the year, like I was saying. I think the announcers also mentioned that. But Kiké Hernández pulled his weight.
Good.
I think he's batting like 192 or something like that. So in the grand scheme of things, bigger picture, he hasn't. But he showed up when the game was nationally televised. But we need more of that. We can't count on Ohtani. We can't count on Freddie Freeman to do everything. We can't count on, and say, for example, like yesterday's game, Evan Phillips, always reliable reliever, comes in there, gives up a 2-run home run. I think that's just everyone's getting taxed.
Yeah. Yeah, I also saw, is it Urias play shortstop? Is it Urias? Rojas.
Yeah.
He's a great player, but I saw like a couple of days ago, I felt bad for the guy, but he was trying to turn, not a double, actually, grounder. He tried getting someone out at first, and he like fumbled the ball or something. It was not good. I was like, damn, Mookie Betts could have been there, but at the same time, he's a great player, Rojas. But what's up with Mookie Betts, dude? Like, did he break his hand? I saw that was the last time I think I saw baseball. I think a couple days before, but I saw a highlight that they hit his hand. Right? Is it broken?
Yeah, broke his hand. They say he's out 2 months. So that'll probably bring him back sometime in August. Okay. But then you got to get back in the swing of things. Like,
dude, it hurts.
I was like, yeah.
I broke both my wrists separate occasions, and when I came back after the cast, it was weak as heck for like months.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So I don't know how he's going to do it.
Yeah.
Yamamoto's also hurt, right?
Yamamoto's hurt. Muncy's hurt. Kershaw comes back on Thursday, so a lot of us are really interested in see how this start goes. He's gonna
go. Glasnow comes in Wednesday.
Oh, he comes back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is what I thought about Glasnow. Did they put him on the IL just to give him some extra rest?
I don't know. It would make sense maybe because everyone's relying on him because of, I don't know, from what I understand, like you were saying, they're putting a lot of like weight on him, taxing him. I think it was probably much needed if that's the case.
Yeah, maybe a mental break. He's the most unlucky pitcher in baseball. There was 10 starts where he got no run support whatsoever.
Right. Dude, you're totally right. When he goes up there, he kills it, and then his teammates like don't follow through. It's pretty crappy. Speaking of that, one last thing I want to end on the Yankee note. About a month ago, did you see Marcus Stroman when he was yelling at his teammates? He yelled at Torres, I think it was. The second baseman for not getting a grounder. Did you see that when he was like yelling at him, cursing?
Oh, tell me about it.
No, I was just hoping you remember. It's been a while, so my memory's not as fresh. But he got a lot of shit for it. But a lot of people were also saying like that was like a moment of a leader trying to get his team back on track. But I'm curious to know whether Marcus Stroman is still acting like that or not, or if he just dropped it because I don't know. They've been doing really bad. Maybe they need a little bit more of that tough love on the team.
I don't know. I'd love to see those kind of things where somebody calls each other out because that's what you have to do when you're like a team captain or when you're a leader of a team. If someone isn't pulling their weight or somebody makes a mental mistake because they weren't doing what they're supposed to do, you have to call them out. So he's probably just doing his job.
Do you think that messes up the player more to get in their head though?
No.
Especially if it's like everyone's watching.
Nah, not so much, because that's
No?
sports. You're probably used to that your whole life.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
I kind of think of like a few years ago when Manny Machado and Tatis got in that giant argument in the dugout. Do you remember that?
No.
But the next day they were fine. The San Diego culture seems like it was great back then. I don't know about now. But that's what you have to do as leaders. If you see somebody not putting in their full effort, you have to call them out.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we've seen Tom Brady do that, right? To his teammates. So, okay. Makes sense. Maybe they need a little bit more of that, the Yankees, because I don't know. I wonder if they're doing a little bit better now, but who knows? I know Aaron Judge, the captain, he takes it more like he's more of a nice, casual approach with the players. So maybe he should like hit Marcus Stroman and be like, hey, be the fucking bad guy, you know? Good cop, bad cop situation.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I think both teams will be fine. I don't know that either team's going to win the World Series. I think the teams like the Orioles look really good. The Phillies are far and beyond the best team in baseball right now. But at the same time, we are just halfway through. You still have to play the other half.
Speaking of which, Derek Jeter, the GOAT, I believe he said the Orioles and the Phillies he sees in the World Series.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have to see. And then you said, what did you say back in January?
I have the Dodgers and the Mariners.
Okay.
So
how are they doing
first as of today?
What is it?
So the Mariners, they're in first place, tied with the Astros, I want to say, but Dodgers have a 7-game lead.
Okay.
So it could happen.
Okay. That'd be great. Well, we'll have to see if Derek Jeter or Sway is right. Drop a comment who you think is going to end up being right. Is it going to be the GOAT or is it going to be Sway? We'll have to see. But you might have a good point, dude. You know baseball very well, so we'll have to check that out in the future.
Sounds good.
All right, man. Well, this was great. Appreciate it. Thank you for being a great host, dude, and keeping us on track with baseball while I continue to stick with the business and current affairs situation with Chris. And I want you to jump on the next podcast with us, if possible, this coming week. We're going to talk about the stock market, how it reacted when Trump got shot in the head, almost got shot in the head, and how the stock market is now acting, whether they believe Trump's going to win or Biden's going to win, because that affects the financial markets. It affects mortgage interest rates. And it'd be cool to see what the stock market was like right before he got shot and right after. It says a lot.
All right, let's do it.
All right, man.
Do you have a set date and time?
No, I'm thinking like Friday, maybe.
Okay, let me know in advance.
Yeah.